Hello, my name is Miguel, and in this video I'll be doing an F124 race at the Montreal Grand Prix. It's the race after the Monaco. 2 races in quick succession. Hope you're liking the content. Starting from 8th in the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal. Lights out and away we go, starting from P8. Now here trying to get it in a move, push to the grass and lose a position to Lando Norris. Lando Norris gets ahead, close with Stroll on the outside, long right-hander. Now let's try and gain back some of these positions. Slowly trying to get in behind the rear end of Lando Norris, trying to gain some time, getting really close, really close. The pack is just all together up to Carlos Sainz, just holding each other up, dive bomb down Lando Norris and managed to get the move. Lose a bit of time to Russell in the process, but still able to make that up in the next couple of laps. Let's keep this pace going. It's going well so far. Now let's push to catch up to George Russell to get up to that P7 to at least gain one position from this start. Very late, early braking from Russell. A bit of contact with his rear end, no damage. Now this DRS, these cars are much quicker, have a higher drag car. My car cannot go that quick on the top on the straights, but just have to try and make the car do what you need it to. Down this second straight, of course there's DRS on both of these straights. You get 2 doses of it. Staying behind the rear end of Russell, trying to size up a move, looking for opportunities, getting really close. You see now, I think it's Piastri getting into this pack, and the likes of Alonso and Verstappen and Hamilton gapping us all a bit. Hamilton currently in P1 while Verstappen sits in P2. Lando Norris still behind, still putting pressure on me. A bit wide on this corner, Russell does the same, brakes too early. Down this back straight, let's get back on board with this Williams, very good Williams. This track performed good, a good qualifying for me and my teammate. Alex Albon qualified P10, hopefully he can get some points in this race. Now trying to get the move done. Just much quicker in the straights. Verstappen now overtakes Hamilton, and I go for a dive bomb on George Russell. Trying to make it stick around the outside, but there's no grip. No grip on the outside. George Russell stays ahead. Trying to gain some time on these corners, getting as close to track limits as possible. Now pushing for it all these positions possibly to be gained or to be lost to the likes of Norris and my teammate Alex Albon behind. Everyone ahead on the same compound as me except Oscar Piastri. I believe that both Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, Hamilton and Verstappen started on mediums, and the strategy is to change to hards around about lap 15. But let's see if Piastri does different. A bit on the grass on the exit of that, nearly colliding with the wall of champions, really close to the grass on the outside part of this track. Trying to go around the outside, but there's still such a lack of grip. Washed away in yesterday's rain during qualifying, in which I did a lap good enough for P8. Starting P8, where could I finish this race? I believe Lando Norris is also on the hard dive bomb again onto George Russell. Both my moves being in that corner. Very good. There's also a DRS straight here, so let's try and gain back the time we lost from that audacious move on George Russell. Gaining on Charles Leclerc, trying to get closer, but Russell just keeps on my outside, keep trying to get that spot. But we push through, trying to stay in touch with Leclerc. Don't want to get him too far away out of my DRS, because then it's impossible. 9/10 a second just outside the DRS, but 2 cars ahead, Piastri and Sainz fighting. But now Leclerc on the exit, he gets a bad exit, but the Ferrari engine slipstream from Sainz too quick. Bit of contact here with some weird movements from Leclerc, as Piastri does lose the position, concede the position to Sainz. But now let's carry on with this race. A lot of laps to go, 30 laps, we're on lap 5 now. Only short way through the race. Just short circuit here, 1:15, around about that, same as Monaco last race. But let's keep it clean. Let's keep trying to put pressure on Leclerc. We've already gained the position for this race, but Russell still right behind me. You can see in my mirrors, again making a slight bit of contact with Leclerc's rear wheels. Brakes too early, just to anticipate any late moves that Piastri or Sainz could make. Down this back straight, using every inch of battery I have, using every single watt or joule of battery. Now a little toe here from Leclerc. Not able to do anything this lap, but just maintaining position, trying to go again around the outside, not good enough, trying to switch to the inside. Toe couldn't do much for the straight, so trying to get the move done in the corners. My car is higher drag for a reason. Let's try and get some clean air, as the team told me to cool down the engine. Engine was getting hot behind this turbulent mess. And a dive bomb here. Really late decisioning as he brakes too early, and I decide to make the move there. Great move for P6 on lap 6. Coming up to the famous Montreal hairpin, Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, named after Villeneuve, after he won it. Now Piastri in my sights, both Piastri and Sainz. Still, don't forget, Russell still behind now. Leclerc did lose that position to Russell, but now all eyes on Oscar Piastri. Gaining time around that turn 1 complex. Got some soft suspension for this race to be able to ride these big curbs around the couple of miles of Montreal. Look at these big curbs, very tall. We need some good suspension to be able to have the car always on the track. Late braking into the hairpin once again, trying to get a good exit for this long straight into a chicane. DRS wide open into the braking. Again on these large curves, a bit of oversteer moment on the exit of this corner. Now Piastri just getting so close. Again on the outside. The outside just isn't the place to go. Oh, oversteer on the exit of that corner. Now into this quick succession of corners. This quick right-hander into a hard braking zone. Managed to do 2 overtakes here, but not a third as of yet. Another DRS down here. Piastri just getting a better exit. Maybe those less worn out hards may be doing their job as my tires start wearing out. Pretty good race pace here around this track. Always have been good in Montreal, one of my favorite tracks, of course. But now it's on to racing. Trying to gain time on these two very good drivers. The young McLaren driver in the McLaren driver in Carlos Sainz, of course. Nearly a 4-second gap from Carlos Sainz to Lewis Hamilton. They seem a bit untouched up there. Let's see if anything plays off and we can get a good race on our hands. Onto this straight again, switching positions side by side, could be able to get the move. So close here, getting good toe down this straight. Possibly able to do the move this lap. Now Sainz, same tire compound as me. Hopefully Piastri doesn't run away with him. Quicker tires, the long-lasting tires. Sadly, I think Gasly retired from this race due to engine failure. We'll see that throughout the race. Losing a bit of time to Sainz here, but back to these quick corners, getting some time. Perfect setup for this car. Trying to go here, impossible, three sides into these corners. Very tight circuit. Oh, an audacious move on the inside and outside of Carlos Sainz. There on that quick flowing section in turn one, in sector 1. Now again trying to fight Piastri. Those tires are definitely fresher, but let's see what I can do with this Williams. Absolutely fighting this Williams for the past couple of races. Able to get some great performances, especially in the likes of Saudi Arabia and Monaco last race. P4 would be great from starting from P8. Let's see. A bit slow down this straight, only 7/10. Close. Nice on that chicane. Albon seems to have lost a position down to P11. Not a surprise, as it was Sergio Perez that overtook him. But he could be able to make that position back. Now back to our racing. Attempting to get the most out of this car performance-wise. Lap 12 of 35. Always a hard race in Montreal. The rear tires get so worn out and hot due to the fast-flowing nature of this circuit. Always a tough one to manage the rear tires. Let's see how it pans out for the rest of this race. Getting some good speed down this straight. Trying to make myself seen in his mirrors. Once again onto this back straight here in Monaco. Not Monaco, sorry, Montreal. This long straight, using all the battery once again, trying to get the best of Piastri, but I feel that it's time to come in a bit earlier than planned. Let's see if the team can get a good stop. I feel like I was getting held up by Piastri, and with a stop, maybe it could fix these problems. In the pits, another normal stop, about 30 seconds, not that bad for Williams. Down to P18, only Ricciardo behind, as he was involved in the Pierre Gasly incident, getting held back when he was trying to park his car. Now we have to try to gain time to Guan Yu Zhou. These Saubers aren't very good, but they do have straight line speed. They do have that Ferrari engine in the back of them. Not to be underestimated, that Ferrari engine in any car, even a Sauber. Trying to gain time. Started about 2 seconds back, now I'm 1.5 seconds. Only a second now, didn't get DRS as the DRS zone was further back before the hairpin, but now into the chicane. Quick right and a left, gaining all the time, very quick his engine. I'm using all my battery right now, trying to compete with that Ferrari engine. Dive bomb down in the Alpine. Now only Bottas and Hülkenberg in front, trying to get some space around the outside. Managing to get myself into this gap. Now around the outside possibly. No, I decided to stay behind, but go for a dive bomb into this corner. I'm so good in overtaking this corner. Great corner for a good move. They won't be expecting it. P14 now gaining some good time to the cars ahead. We see Kevin Magnussen 8 seconds up. Now we just have to do these next few laps until the rest of the grid falls down the grid with their stops as well. Hopefully there's no safety car, just like in Monaco, to ruin my P4 opportunity. Have a few drivers pitting now, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Alonso and Hamilton coming into the pits. You see them on the left now. They do keep ahead of me, but getting much closer. The gap to them was about 5 seconds. Now it's only 1.6. Let's try and keep in contact with the net P3 Hamilton and net P2 Alonso. What a race P2 would be for this Williams. Twice, one being in Saudi Arabia, another in Monaco, being P1. Getting time to Hamilton, getting within just nearly DRS, nearly within that 1 second, but on that exit again, so much quicker. The Mercedes, the parent car of Williams, just so much quicker. you see that Norris and Piastri, both on hard, did not pit, and that's why they are in first and second, as the rest of the main grid peels off into the pits straight ahead instead of doing that right-left chicane. No drivers to the left, no drivers exiting the pit lane into P6, but a net P4. Russell used to be fighting me, now he's 2.5 seconds back. Nice strategy from me, pitting early, as I felt that Piastri was holding me back with them old hards. Now even older hards, which even Verstappen, which has pitted, is getting close to. Losing a bit of time to Hamilton in this past few sectors, having had some minor engine problems, not being able to deploy my battery. Now that I'm able to use the battery, I have some battery spare, 100% battery levels, so let's use all of this battery in the coming laps. To yellow flag ahead, this was, I'm pretty sure, Bottas with another engine failure. I think they managed to clear the track before I even get to the scene. Sad for Bottas, a legend of Mercedes. Getting closer to Hamilton now, not within 3.5 seconds, but gaining a little half a second here, 0.2 there. Not bad. What a race it would be to have a fight for the podium from starting from P8. What a race it would be. My estimations is that both Piastri and Norris either double stack and pit on lap 20, or because my strategy was to go 20 laps on hards, they could have gone 20 laps on hard at the start instead of at the end, but maybe they might want to extend or go a bit shorter. Gaining a lot of time to Hamilton and Alonso while they fight. Now only 1 second, and I will get the DRS for this straight. I will have DRS, but just too far, and they definitely got a better exit here. Not quick enough to rear, and sadly the detection point is around here. Won't have DRS for that long back straight. No need to give up, as my battery is fully charged and roaring to go, and never been more eager for podium. Hitting the wall of champions. Getting really close to Hamilton, as he's really close to Alonso, and maybe starting to lose time behind one another. Maybe Hamilton starting to get a hot engine all those laps behind him. But all that matters is me and these two drivers. 10 titles between, 9 titles between them. 7 from Hamilton and 2 from Alonso. Let's see what could happen in the rest of this race. 15 laps remaining, lap 20. And don't know, might be able to get DRS. Maybe just missed by a few tenths, but really close to the back of them. We'll still get a decent tow off of Lewis Hamilton. Sadly, Alex Albon down to P14. A bit of lack of race pace. He was good in qualifying, getting up to Q3. only P10. As Lando Norris pits, now I am in actual P5, but still net P4, as Piastri is yet to pit. But Norris, post his stops, is in P9. Oh, and he gets demoted to P10, even overtaken by Perez. Not the best of strategies from McLaren. McLaren I'm more worried about is Piastri, because on his new mediums he might be able to gain some time on me and possibly attack. But what is the problem now is overtaking Hamilton. Getting even close to him is an issue. Amazing pace. He was leading the race at one point in this race very early on. Verstappen, good gap ahead, 6.5 seconds. Getting really close now, just over half a second. And they fight just to the chicane. So close. Could I get a position here? Has to brake in the middle of the corner. Now he has an optimal line. Deep braking. No contact. Great move into turn 1. As Piastri has pit and he is very far behind. Both behind the 2 Ferraris and George Russell. Has been fighting with Charles Leclerc for a while now. Let's see who can maintain on top. But now it's going for P2. The podium not guaranteed yet, because Hamilton is still a very good driver and putting pressure. But down the inside, it's possible. P2 is still on the cards. Alonso had a bad exit off of that corner, so Hamilton is able to gain that position, but they will have DRS, and there's still 13 laps to go. At this point in the race, I was worried if my fuel would make it. I had very little fuel. I finished the race with very little fuel, didn't have to worry about it towards the end, because it was quite stable. I had saved lift and coast for most of it, but very risky at this point, thinking about should I save fuel, should I push to get a 1 second gap. Tough decisions to make in Montreal. A bit of oversteer here, going a bit wide with Fernando Alonso pressuring me. Had great race pace in Montreal ever since the F1 2020 game, the first ever Formula 1 game I've had. But with DRS, both overtake me, but just later braking. Later braking does the job. Able to stay in front. Back off board for a second just to visualize the gap between me and Fernando Alonso. Getting closer with the DRS, not close enough. Back on board. The Williams, the Mercedes engine is of great sound to hear whilst on board. Now Alonso ahead. Always that corner, that DRS is very, very powerful. Still able to keep ahead. On this hairpin. Good move, clean racing. And I believe I do get DRS because of the very early detection point. this point in the race, I'm feeling more comfortable. 1.5 second gap to Hamilton, to the car behind. Able to get a smooth rhythm into the next 10 laps of this race and possibly secure myself the never expected second place. Starting from 8th would be a miracle. Having to defend from Lewis Hamilton, quite easy defending first chicane. Lost that bit of a comfortable gap, but could be able to regain it as a poor exit out of that chicane means I gain a few tenths. See what I can do in the rest of this lap 27 to possibly regain my comfortable second place. Verstappen extremely comfortable up ahead, over 10 seconds in the lead of this race. Always had the better car, able to compete with him in Monaco, but Montreal is a different question. More high-speed track, their car is much more suited to that. Quite glad these hard tires have stayed strong throughout this race, as normally they could start to be susceptible to wear, but able to stay within usable limits, not having to pit again. Pitting again right now would be horrible for my race, put me down to about P14 or 15. But the problem now is the gap to Hamilton as it falls. There's Hamilton probably using battery and having to save mine. Big problem with the Williams car not having good enough battery capacity. Hamilton getting really close now, closing up that gap, getting DRS for the back straight. Possibly an opportunity for him to overtake me here. Hopefully not. Seeing my mirrors. Not able to do much. My car still pretty fast down that straight. Able to keep Hamilton behind for the hairpin, but now his most dangerous area, the straights. That DRS being so powerful on the other cars. Trying to keep left as possible, not trying to squeeze him, giving him space, braking later, and a good line through the chicanes, able to maintain position, gaining back some valuable tenths for this race. Up 31 of 35, 5 laps remaining, not including this one. Still very early onto this lap. Albon has been in P13 regularly, not able to move from there as Lewis Hamilton overtakes me, but always brake later, better setup for this track. You will have DRS again down the back straight, able to keep him behind for the hairpin, trying a different line to the hairpin this time, trying going wider to get a longer straight, trying to counter Lewis Hamilton's straight line speed, staying to the left, trying to avoid giving Hamilton any space on that left hand side. A bit wide on this exit of this corner, giving Hamilton some time, losing a bit of time on lap 31 to Lewis Hamilton, whilst George Russell does kind of close the gap, maybe not able to do anything for it because of it. And furthermore, Verstappen really far ahead now, 14.5 seconds up in front. Love to be in that Red Bull. Super quick car. You see me lifting, still kind of wary if the fuel is enough or not. Up 32 of 35, down the back straight. Starting lap 33 through turn 1, round the long right-hander of turn 2, big oversteer, down a little small straight to the quick turn 3 and 4, right and left, down to the long right-hander, hard braking zone, quick sharp turning, another corner into a DRS zone. Real straight into this hard but quick succession of corners. Now down into the... oh, Lewis Hamilton overtakes. Just trying to smooth through on the curve to the hairpin. And now the back straight, this menacing back straight. Verstappen still very close. As Alonso comes out, you see him on the mirrors, rear right, on the right mirror, hovering over my rear right tire. Alonso manages to overtake Hamilton, possibly losing Hamilton some time. I believe that if Hamilton would have probably stayed there, he probably would have gotten the move. Hamilton is really quick, was pressuring me all throughout this race. Lap 34 of 35, 1.5 laps remaining. Alonso close to my rear end, able to defend. Hard to defend from a titan like Fernando Alonso. Able to stay in front as he tries to go around the outside. I defend it well, give him the space. Bit of oversteer there, having to correct the car lid. Now lap 35. Final laps, the tensest moments of any race, especially when you've gained 6 positions from 8th to 2nd. Now you just have to keep the car straight, let your instincts do the rest of the lap. 35 laps of Montreal, you really know where to brake, you really know every single detail of the track. Hard braking zone down to the last time I will go through this hairpin and down this back straight, using all the battery I've saved throughout these last couple of laps to try and keep ahead of Fernando Alonso. And another final time into this chicane, quick, and there you go, celebrating, weaving, and to the flag. It's P2. What a race. Great race, great session. Great race here in Canada, and to top it all off, I also got the fastest lap. P8 to P1 is an incredible race, but it is a shame Alex Albon didn't finish in the points. Let's check the driver standings. I am 4th in a Williams in front of Sergio Perez. It's quite embarrassing for him, but P4 is pretty good. Sadly, we no more points for the constructors, but we do remain P6, but closing up to McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. Only 3 points in it. Let's see what we can do for the next race.